Start Madam, ma'am.
Start, madam.
Okay.
Okay, let's start then. So, hello everyone.
Good morning. A warm welcome to everyone who are gathered here virtually for the webinar on Transforming from Stressful to Successful, to be delivered by Mr. Bhaskar Krishna, Principal Software Engineer from Broadcom Technologies, UK. Organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, University Visvesvaraya College of Engineering, Bangalore. Many of us struggle with stress at work and in our personal life. Like any problem, stress requires a strategic approach to conquer or at least manage. Stress is real, but we always have a choice. We can let it consume us or we learn to control it. No matter who we are and what we do in life, stress is always going to find us. Let us hope and we'll learn how to transform our life from stressful to successful in this webinar. At the outset, I extend my warm welcome to our speaker, Mr. Bhaskar Krishna, Principal Software Engineer from Broadcom Technologies, UK. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I take the privilege to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Venugopal K.R., for extending his support to conduct this event. I welcome, sir. Now I welcome Professor H.N. Ramesh, Principal UVCE, for extending his support to conduct this webinar. Welcome, sir. I welcome Professor P. Deepa Shanai, Dean Faculty of Engineering, Bangalore, Professor, Department of CSE. Welcome, ma'am. Now I welcome Dr. S.M. Dilip Kumar, Professor and Chairperson, Department of CSE, UVCE, to this event. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Now I welcome Dr. Triveni J, Officer on Special Duty, Examination and Professor, Department of CSE, UVCE, and the convener of this webinar and my mentor. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Pushpa.
Thank you.
Now I welcome all faculty members, research scholars, students and participants from UVCE and other institutions in India and abroad. I welcome one and all. Now it's time to introduce the speaker of today's webinar. I request Dr. Triveni J. ma'am to introduce the speaker to the audience.
Okay. Thank you, Pushpa. Good morning, one and all. First of all, I'm honored to say that Mr. Bhaskar was my favorite student at Acharya Institute of Technology in 2004. He did his engineering in Acharya Institute of Technology from 2001 to 2004. Let me introduce him to the August gathering. Mr. Bhaskar Krishna, working as Principal Software Engineer at Broadcom Technologies, UK, graduated from Acharya Institute of Technology in the year 2004 from the Information Science Department. He has served various companies like McAfee, Message Labs, Symantec before joining to Broadcom, who were pioneers in information security. From the day when he's working on security, he's very good at all security issues. He currently holds 5 US patents for proposing methods for detecting legitimate computer operation, identifying icons, detecting malicious email attachments, for minimizing the effects of rogue security, and to identify junk APIs in a malware. He has composed many information security white papers and blogs, and his skills are reverse engineering and cyber security. He also delivers many lectures on cyber security and how to write patent. Okay, now let us hear from him how to transform our stress to successful. Over to you, Bhaskar.
Thank you, ma'am. That's a great introduction. Thank you so much. And my biggest introduction is I'm a student of Triveni, ma'am. Okay, then. So let's get on with the thing, the presentation. So just sit relaxed. This is more of a personality development based presentation what I would like to see, because the reason is actually we can give number of technical presentations, we can give number of technical sessions, or we can teach many people many things, but the thing is actually there is something that is inhibiting us from moving from where we are to where we should be. So that is, there is some kind of factor actually which is kind of stopping us from being exceptional. So let's go through the slides and let's see. I'll try to keep the session very interactive with all the stories and real world examples. And let's see how exactly we are going to crack on this one. Okay. So now, first I'll give an overview of this presentation and then we can keep the question and answer session at the end. Okay. So yeah. So now before we start, if you look at this one, actually, it's a very simple question, actually, what we need to ask. When a student can focus on a movie for 1.5 to 3 hours, depending on whether it is a Bollywood movie or a Hollywood movie, why can't he focus on a lecture? Why don't they focus on lectures? And when a student can recite the entire song with the background music, why can't he recite the formulas and the key concepts in the any chapter? And when we look at the, how these our memory power, how exactly our so how exactly our analytical skills, how exactly, even though we are capable of doing something, how exactly stress can definitely hinder us in a way. So what can these stress do to our parents and our teachers and of course our students in our day-to-day life? So let's see one by one here. Okay. So before we solve any problem, what we should understand is what the problem is, right? So if in a simple words, in a simple definition, what the stress is. So let's see what the stress is. Stress is nothing but, in a very, very simple words, stress is nothing but there is something called as a supply and a demand. When the demand is more and the supply is less, so that's where actually there is a limit. And when that limit happens, actually what's going to happen to our brain is our brain tries to find something else and do something else, do something which it has not done before. So in that process, actually what happens is all our neurons, they become so active and they start producing something called as where the connection between each and every neuron, where they undergo firing and wiring concept when passing the electrical impulses, and also when it comes to transformation of information or fetching the information from our main memory. So that is where actually our stress comes into factor. And what happens is, for example, if you hate maths, imagine there are 3 to 4 classes back to back, which are going to talk about formulas, which are going to talk about various calculations. It might be physics, chemistry, or it might be strength of materials or anything. But the thing is, actually, if there is a calculation involved, automatically your mind has already convinced you that these classes are going to be boring, or these classes are going to be stressful, or you don't find these classes very interesting. So because of this, already there is a decision that is made by your mind. Because of this, there will be less focus, there will be less involvement. And because of this, what happens is you'll start lagging behind when it comes to covering your chapters, covering your portions. Now, in a student life, what exactly is the major enemy here, right? So the major enemy here is the procrastination. What is procrastination? Procrastination is kind of delaying the things, actually saying that we will see that tomorrow. We will see that tomorrow. But usually, actually, we have faced it, you have faced it, and everybody have faced it. In engineering, actually, things run so quickly that within no time, we will finish those 3 months and 4 months. We will be on the doorsteps of an exam, and where we have very less time to prepare for, or where we prepare in a way that we don't complete things. We just look at the syllabus. We try to refer our previous question papers and thinking that, oh, they have not asked this question last year, they are not going to ask this year. So we'll start making those kind of adjustment. But we forget the core principle why we join these kind of technical courses. We join there to learn. When you're going to learn, then obviously there is no choice. So you need to make sure that when you are joined any technical course, we need to be more and more technical. We need to understand each and every key concept. and then your education becomes complete. Now, what are the main reasons actually why we undergo this kind of thing, the procrastination? Is mainly, for example, the boredom. The boredom is a situation where something doesn't interest you, where whatever you have thought of, like you want to achieve something, but the thing is that concept is not really entering your mind, and it's not kind of creating anything that stimulates you to learn more. Or it might be the anxiety issue where the society will laugh at me. For example, if you might have a very valid question at the end of the presentation, for example, but you might not ask, even though it's a valid, because the reason is you think that you're already limiting yourself from asking questions. So because of this, your problem remains in the brain all the time, and it never gets solved, right? So because of that one problem, it's a small things actually what can change the life. It's not a really big thing. For example, let me tell you a story. So I keep interacting with a lot of some of our friends are psychiatrists. There was one guy who lost his job, and then he started binge eating. So because of that, he was at home all the time. Here in UK government, what they do is actually, if any employer, if or any guy actually who is employed, if he loses his job, depending on the number of years he has worked, they will give a kind of a compensation. And he was spending that money, and his girlfriend left him. Because of that, he was so stressed that he started eating all the junk food to calm his nerves. Then after that, he started drinking a lot of sugary drinks and always watching TV. And due to this, actually, even his income was reduced. Then after that, he came to a situation where, like, yeah, apart from eating, he was not doing anything because of his sugar level went up and his weight went up. Then after that, he started losing his eyesight. Then he was referred to a psychiatrist. So psychiatrist, what that guy did was, first thing, these psychiatrists, what they do is they become friends with us to understand us. Then after that, he gave one small suggestion that, rather a sugary Coke, go for a diet Coke. Then this guy changed from sugary Coke to diet Coke. And slowly, what happened was, because there is less sugar in it, so his weight came down. Then he motivated him to do some kind of physical activity. So because all the time he was watching TV and eating, so what this guy suggested was, here, go to a second-hand bike showroom, buy a second-hand bike. If you're watching TV, just make sure you replace the sofa with the bicycle. So what he did was, this guy just replaced sofa with his bicycle, and then slowly he started pedaling when he was watching movies. And suddenly what happened was, it became a habit for him to, whenever he used to watch movie, he used to cycle, pedal it. So because of that, his weight came down, and because his weight came down, and his sugar level also came down. Then after that, his eyesight came back. So it's all, whatever that happened, it started unwinding everything back. And because of this, again, he was able to do more activities. Then after that, he started going out. Then after that, he started meeting people. Then after that, he started getting his job back, and he found a new girlfriend. So that shows that there is every small thing, actually, how small thing can affect our life. So whatever I'm teaching you in this presentation, you guys can just Google it in 1 single second and then understand it. But the thing is, it's about implementation. It's about the techniques. Actually, if we implement right techniques, we are going to be on a successful path. To achieve something which we don't have, we need to do something which we have not done. It's a very simple rule. So now, what is the other reason actually why students procrastinate? It is insecurity. Because the reason is, what happens is, many people, after getting used to certain pattern of life, they don't want to change. So for example, if some students are good at theory subjects, they want to score only in theory. They don't want to focus on programming. It might be difficult. Or if some people are good at programming, they will focus only on practicals. If you see their marks card, you can see a pattern in that, where their scores are consistently low in theory and they are good at practicals, or it might be the vice versa. So that is what actually, so this insecurity kind of builds a procrastination, saying that we will learn that tomorrow. That tomorrow never comes back. Next one is another, to continue with the reason of procrastination. It's a frustration actually. So every time we try something, it doesn't work. To be honest, it is not just our problem. Mindset like Thomas Alva Edison, even he faced the same issue. I mean, if you watch one of the movie, you will come to, or any documentary, you will come to know how much struggle he has undergone to invent that. Because at that time, he was not the only guy who was doing that same experiment. It was many people. So anybody could have been successful. So then the reporter asks a question saying that Mr. Thomas Edison, you have failed 1,000 times. And if you are implementing the right technique, we would have had electricity like 5 years back. Then there was a clever reply by Mr. Edison. He said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I invented 999 times how not to invent electricity. If you follow these processes, you are not going to reach the success. But at least I have written so many papers that if you follow these techniques, at least it can be a guideline for the people who are going to find new techniques to invent electricity in future. So that's a positive answer he gave. So then second one is nobody takes me seriously. Another one. So where best example is Amitabh Bachchan. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, I think everybody might have heard the story where he was rejected for a newsreader's job, but because saying that his voice was not good. Today, how many people they just mimic his voice, and then they are earning their day-to-day bread. So there will be some people actually in the society who don't recognize us, who don't recognize our talent. That doesn't mean that we don't have it. So it's a simple concept. Like earlier, people were not ready to accept that it's the earth which is revolving around the sun. They used to say that sun rises here, sun sets there. So obviously then it might be the sun which might be moving right around the earth. So that's a concept they had. So even though people might undervalue us, but the thing is actually all the time we need to be so motivated, because it was not just Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, even Lata Mangeshkar. She was one of the music director who heard her for the first time. He said that you have a male voice. So is that true? It's not true. Then after that, forget about any other example who are Hollywood, Bollywood examples. If you look at our local Kannada actor, who is Sudeep, he was named as Iron Leg because whatever the movies he used to start, it never used to get completed. So that's the reason actually people just nicknamed him as Iron Leg, and then see today where he is. So it's all about like our dedication, our focus. More and more we get rejected. That attitude to come back is the one what is going to matter here. But most of people don't carry that attitude. That's the reason they start to procrastinate. They stop going to the places where they get humiliated. Then third one is the bitterness and hatred. So this is where I would like to call out one of the theory that there is nothing called a bad student. It's always the bad teacher, I would say. The reason is today, if you're good at maths, if you're good at any concept, it might be because of your primary or secondary teacher who might have inspired you at some point to learn something. So that's the reason if you look at the average of failure, people fail in maths and science compared to Kannada and English. The reason is they are able to correlate to the subject so much that they don't have to study. It's already there. They already know the concept. All they have to do is just do a revision after going home. But the thing is with maths, the inspiration is the one actually what is lacking. So, and also there might be situation where you were unable to do the homework, where you were sent out of the class, where you were humiliated in front of everyone. So that's the reason why people start hating the teacher. They don't hate the subject. They start disliking the teacher. And as soon as they open the textbook, they will see their teacher's face. So that's the reason actually why people build that reluctant habit of not focusing on that subject anymore. So that's the reason why, because those foundation concepts are not really good. So that's the reason why even these students, they face the difficulties even in engineering, because the foundation concepts are not really strong. Then self-doubt, can I do it? So this is one of the thing actually where I would like to say one more story. Recently we went to Mysore, and my daughter was very excited by looking at elephant, and she asked a question that how do they control these elephants, because the reason is they are so massive, we humans are so small in front of them. But the thing is, how do they control, how do they put them under chain? Then the guy actually who was controlling the elephant, he told a very nice story. What they do is when the elephants, when they are in the baby stage, when they are in a walkable stage, what they do is they bring those baby elephants, they tie a very, very strong chain around their feet, and they just leave them at a place. These baby elephants, they try to take the chain out of their feet. They try their effort all the time, actually, day and night, day and night, day and night. After a few days, they will be convinced that they can't remove this chain. But what happens is, over the period, they'll stop trying. And if you don't know, that guy said, it's the same chain what this elephant was tied with when it was a baby. Even though it has grown today, even though it has grown to a size where it can definitely rip it off, but the thing is, it's not trying. That's where our success is. And that's how we tame the elephants. So this is the problem with us, because something we have failed at our initial stage doesn't mean that we should not be trying it again. So that's the reason, actually, when we don't try something, that is where actually we don't achieve that thing. When we don't achieve that thing, the things start to build by one. And that's the one actually where we think that, okay, we'll learn it tomorrow, or we don't want to learn it. So that's the reason actually why people try to procrastinate. Not because they want to procrastinate, because it's a natural instinct with the brain, because our brain is designed not to accept things so easily, not to accept things so quickly. For example, if you have a hot cooker on the gas, first thing is you will look for the cloth, right? Or you will look for something that is going to absorb the heat so that you don't burn your hand or fingers. Or if the road is busy, you will think twice before crossing the road. So this is how naturally our brain is designed. Suddenly, if the brain is thrown in front of all the mathematical formulas and all the unknown numbers and those kind of things, obviously brain will start rejecting it. So that's the reason actually why students don't like to attend these things. Now let's see, actually in future, I will teach some of the techniques on how to overcome that. This is one of the thing, actually, one of the slide which I wanted to bring it for students. What are the implications of stress? What happens is, actually, our mind is designed to be always happy. By default, actually, we all want happiness. We all want to relax. We all want to enjoy our life every minute, every second. It's a natural instinct in every human being. So what happens is, they do some kind of test called single photon emission computed tomography. It's called SPECT. It's like a ECG for the heart. So they do these kind of scans. It's called SPECT scans. So what happens is, let me take a pointer out here. The picture what you're seeing here, it's a sign of a healthy brain, where when they pass these waves, it will give a kind of a picture, which is going to show how the blood flows from tissues and organs. It shows how they diagnose seizures, strokes, stress, fractures, infections, tumors. So it can give a picture of that. And I think everybody might have heard of Alzheimer's disease, right? Where people start to lose their memory slowly. And if you don't know, they try to find the reason behind this disease. The main reason behind this disease is the stress. Because of the stress, what happens is, actually, this is the most difficult disease to detect, because it starts like 20 years or 10 years before, 10 to 15 years before it happens. And it's very, very difficult to detect. The only way to not to go in that area is to keep ourselves free from stress. So now coming to the second one, this is the one actually where the brain has a two strokes, and you can see a lot of holes, right? If there are holes, that means they have a problem. But if the brain is without any holes, so that means it is healthy. If you come to the next one, actually, people who take drugs, because the reason is, actually, the reason people take drugs is, like, the happy state. They want to get relaxed and they want to free themselves from the stress. That's the reason why these students, either they go more often on a break, or if they attend 2 classes, they will at least bunk the third one and attend the fourth one or fifth one, like that. So that's the reason, actually, brain always requires a break. So that's where, actually, where people try to find different ways to relax their brain. There is a chemist who is an Israeli organic chemist, who has found out that our body is capable of synthesizing arachidonoethanamine. Okay, so it's actually a biosynthesized drug, which is like a marijuana for the body, which is always going to keep you always happy. So we don't have to take the drugs from outside. Our body can generate it ourselves. If you see some of the people, actually, who are always happy and they always be smiling, they always will be talking to you as if nothing has happened. all the time. Like, even though no matter what kind of disaster that happens in their life, but again, they will always come back in the next day as if like nothing has happened. So in their body, we have found this one actually. And the short form of this one, it's called Anandmayed. If you convert that one into Sanskrit word, it's called Anandamaid. That means happiness hormones. So those hormones can be generated naturally. So that's the reason actually, when I can teach you some of the techniques actually, how this can be like, generated automatically, so that we can be free from the stress and move to successful. Then coming to the last one, which is a major problem that is affecting our students. Most of the students actually, they get into the smoking habit. And if you see the brain there, the smoking and drugs, it's not only going to harm your body is definitely going to be harmed, like lungs and those kind of things, other organs. But the thing is, mainly it's a brain which gets hemorrhaged here. The reason is, when it's going to create such hole in the brain because of these smoking habits, people can't make even simple decisions, like whether this need to be done in a this way or that way. So that's the reason actually why these people, software engineers especially, I've seen in my company, they go on frequent breaks. They definitely need a smoke before they write any code, before they do any test, so before they do any kind of other things. So that's a thing I have seen, like so that's a main problem what we have seen in our software industry. They go take frequent breaks, either coffee breaks or tea breaks or smoke breaks. So and the problem here is actually, damaging the body is one part, but damaging the brain is another part. Damaging the body, at least, like there is a chance of recovery, but these things are like irreparable, irreplaceable. So that's the reason why you should be away from these kind of habits. Now going to the next slide. So now we have described the problem till now, right? So what exactly we need to do to move from stressful to successful? The answer is actually, it is within us, it's us. So we need to change. What do you mean we need to change? How can we change? And what is the technique to change? So that's the one what I'm going to cover in future slide. So if you see, the answer is actually the subconscious mind. So if we are talking about changing something, so what need to be changed is not us, not our behavior, not our attitude. So those things can automatically be changed if we change our subconscious mind. That's a key here. So let me talk about that one a little bit more. So what is the subconscious mind? Subconscious mind is, I think you guys, we all might have experience, right? Where we sit in a car, we sit in a bus, we sit in a train, and we start our journey, but we don't remember any part of that journey. And once we realize, we will be always already in the destination. So how did that journey go through? Where were we during that time? And even people who ride their bikes and cars. So how did they change their gears? How did they make sure, who was taking care of you on the road to make sure you are safe? Even though there were so many heavy vehicles and so many traffic, but you don't remember any part of the journey. But how did you reach the destination? Who was taking care of you? So has anybody thought about it? Second one is, if you look at in our day-to-day life, we keep forgetting watch, key, and wallet in a visible place. It will be always in a visible place. And most of the times our moms or our dad will be shouting that, yes, it's on the table. But even though it's on the table, we don't see it. And when they come back and when they find it out, yes, it's here, then we see it. It happens to all of us, right? It has happened to me, it has happened to everyone. So that's where why didn't we see that? Because our mind was somewhere else. So next, third one is, if you're sitting in front of TV or a person or a lecture, and if the things are not so interesting, what will you do? You will be somewhere else, and the thing is, you will not even realize when that finished. So then the person will ask, if anybody asks, like, what did you learn or what did you do? So you have no idea how these 45 minutes went. So that's where it is. So that is what your subconscious mind is. So now coming to the core difference between logical mind and a subconscious mind. Logical mind is also called as conscious mind, and subconscious mind is actually another part of the mind. So I'll just come to that little bit in depth. So conscious mind is something that controls your thoughts, memories, feelings and wishes, and rational mental processing. For example, imagine your friend is really very bad at singing. He gives a stage show, and after coming back from the stage, he will ask for a feedback. How did that go? You don't want to tell him on the straightforward on your face, right? You want to control your this thing, and you might say that he need to go under training, or he could have sang better, something like this. So those words were controlled by conscious mind, but already your subconscious mind will be saying that how terrible he is in singing, right? From inside it will be telling you, come on, tell him that. So that is what subconscious mind is. Subconscious mind is what is going to control your other organs, like like your organ functionality, like heartbeat, digestion, your breathing, cell growth, and emotions. So these are controlled by subconscious mind. It is a mind which is always awake. It's a mind which is always like something that we use 95% of our lifetime. It is a mind which is going to control many other emotions unknowingly. So I'll just cover that one in a next slide a little bit more. So there are some interesting facts about subconscious mind, right? So it's actually something, some of the things, it records everything. So no matter whether you're paying attention or not paying attention, it is capable of recording everything. But only thing is actually we don't remember it because that information is stored in an area which we can't retrieve it. So that's the reason we don't remember most of the things. Then second one is it's always alert and awake. And third one is, it, as I mentioned, actually it controls our 95% of our life. And 5% is the place actually where we make only rational decision, but rest of the life, rest of the day, or rest of the hour, actually we will be listening to our subconscious mind. It's built on habituation. So that means more and more you do anything again and again, so it becomes a habit. More and more you try to procrastinate, it becomes a habit. More and more you try to study something, your vocabulary will be different, your words recognition will be different. So it's like it works on any input. It's like, consider it as like a C++ subroutine which is going to add two numbers. It's not going to care about what you're going to pass. It will just add 2 plus 2 and it will give it to you, or it's going to add that a plus b and it's going to return back. So it's like that. It doesn't even know whether you're asleep or awake. So that's the reason why it tries to talk to you in the dreams. If you are having a bad dream about your exams, that means you're not prepared well. You have that fear because your subconscious mind knows you better. Or if you're having a very good dreams about something, a vacation or something, you enjoyed that vacation so much that your subconscious mind is so happy, and it's the way of telling you that I need another one. Then third one is, sorry. Then the next one is actually it takes everything literally. So whatever you say, for example, if you say yourself that I'm a very strong person, automatically it will start implementing that in your attitude, day-to-day attitude. If you say that I'm a person who is like, who doesn't like some person, for example, so then automatically it will start showing the attitude towards where when that person comes in front of you, automatically your mind will start getting irritated and you don't feel like even talking to that person. So, and let me give you one more example. I think it might have happened to all of us life, right? So where we are standing in our college corridor and a beautiful girl just passes away, and she's going to just say hello to us, or hello to one of us. What these friends will do, they will just say that, oh, that girl likes you. And in the first day, you don't feel anything. Imagine if they keep saying this for 20 or 30 days, automatically you will start generating the feelings for that person, knowingly or unknowingly. So that's the power of subconscious mind. So I'm sure all of us have experienced it. All of us have witnessed it. Even though on the first day, nothing, actually, it's a very clean friendship what we have. But the thing is, it will turn into another perspective because of the friends feeding those, and because they are playing with your subconscious mind. That's the power of subconscious mind. And it can do trillions of things at once because it doesn't understand what it is doing. It's just kind of like, taking the input and giving you the output, taking the input and giving you the output. But the thing is, what you're going to do with that output is very different. Your brain might just discard it. But the thing is, actually, it is always something which is always constantly processing in your mind. So, it is 1 million times faster than your conscious mind. This is absolutely, if you refer any book, regarding subconscious mind. These are the facts actually what they list about your subconscious mind. So this is what subconscious mind is, because throughout our life, we don't use our logical mind that much. We just use it only for rational decision making, but the rest of the things are taken care by subconscious mind. Now coming to the point, how do we reprogram our subconscious mind? Like, consider brain as a device. Like any device is hackable. Being a security analyst, I can say this. So like any device is hackable. So similarly, even brain can be hackable. So it can be hacked. So it can be hacked, it can be reprogrammed. Today, whatever you're bad at, tomorrow you can be really good at it. How do we do that? So the first technique is, there are 3 techniques what I'm going to talk. So first technique is hypnosis. So once the conscious mind sleeps, your subconscious mind stays awake. So that's the reason in our Hindu culture, actually, before we go to bed, we say a prayer so that our parents or our grandparents, they always assure that when you say a prayer, you will have very good dreams. What are they doing? Actually, they are kind of suppressing our subconscious mind to think about good dreams, think about happy dreams. So that's the reason why we narrate a good story to our kids, like saying there is a beautiful garden, there is something flowers, or there is a king. So at the end of the day, actually that story has a happy ending. The reason is actually that so that our subconscious mind can absorb good things about it, and it can project our mind, it can change our behavior. So that's the reason behind saying all these shlokas, saying all these good thoughts, and feeding the good thoughts into mind is the place actually where you're before going to the sleep. So now what we can do is, of course, we can't read all these small stories, or we can't call our grandparents to tell the stories. What we can do is we can feed positive affirmations to our brain. How we can do it is, everybody have a smartphone nowadays, right? So just record your voice saying that what do you want to do. For example, if you're bad at maths, just say that I'm really good at maths. Or if you want to lose weight, for example, just say that yes, I'm going to do exercise, I'm going to exercise every day, at least 1 hour a day. Or if you are not feeling well, just say that I'm happy and I'm healthy. Or if you are emotionally down, just say something which is affirmative, which is belonging to your own personal message. Record that message and put it in a loop, and make sure you listen to this. First day, nothing is going to happen. First 1 week, nothing is going to happen. But slowly, after 25 days, you'll start seeing the difference. 25 to 30 days. Because brain takes some input and it will slowly start transforming. And you will start seeing that magic. You'll start seeing that you're becoming a happy person. You'll start seeing that automatically you start focusing on maths class. Automatically you are starting to hear the things which were not heard by you, even though you are sitting in the class. So these kind of changes you can expect in future. And if you can't do it, obviously there are some professionals who you can contact, who can definitely talk to your subconscious mind. And they have a kind of, they have the techniques to heal that the hesitation what the brain has got, or heal that whatever the issues we listed in the procrastination section, right? So that can be done through these professionals. Second one is visualization. Visualization is a technique. Let me tell you a story. Hollywood actor Jim Carrey, heard of it? The Mask. So that guy, he was in 1985. He had nothing. He almost had probably a few $100s in his bank account. He wrote a check in his name for $10 million in 1985. And he put a date on that. If you go to YouTube, actually, you can hear his speech. It's a very beautiful speech where he says he wrote a $10 million check for himself, and he kept it in his pocket. And the date was 1995, Thanksgiving Day. And every day, whenever he's alone, he used to just look at the check and keep it in the pocket. Look at the check and keep it in the pocket. So what that did was, it started giving him a visualization that he can be a great actor one day. He can definitely pursue his career in acting. He struggled for 5 to 7 years to get a good role. So there comes the opportunity where Dumb and Dumber in 1994, which is an American comedy movie, there he got the payment what he was expecting. And the day where he had put the check date, right, he just went to the bank and he withdraw the cash. That's the power of visualization. So, and also what we can do here is actually rather putting the posters of Sachin Tendulkar or Shah Rukh Khan or anybody else. So what we can do is put your posters around your room, where you in that poster or in that picture, make sure you are studying, or make sure you are, I mean, if you want to be a better athlete, where you're working hard, working out, or put your own posters where you, if you have any issues with the family, so make sure you put a picture where you are very happy with your family members. Automatically your mind will start focusing more and more every day you see it, and it will start changing, and it will start working for your benefits. So this is practically proven, and it's going to definitely work. Only thing is just believing in it and applying in it is the one. So if you want to really focus more, that's the reason actually during examination time, I've seen actually some of my college toppers, what they used to do was they used to write all the formulas and everything, and they used to stick it around all the walls, so that they can keep visualizing those formulas again and again, again and again. Because these people, they had examination fear. As soon as they used to enter the examination hall, they used to forget the things because of the fear, because fear can act on the memory. And even the in a way that whatever the information you're trying to retrieve, it's going to act as a blockage. You'll not be able to remember anything even though you have studied very well. So that's the reason actually why this power of visualization can definitely suppress that fear and bring the information back. Try it out, it's a very good technique. Third one, very popular method, meditation. Everybody, this throughout, I mean, people who are teaching meditation, I don't think they're like, they are more than trillion years now. So it's a very popular technique, because the reason is it is practically proven to be acceptable, and it's practically proven to be healthy to apply. There is no harm in trying out. Let me tell you a story here. Not the story, it's an experiment that was conducted by University of Massachusetts, I guess. So what they did was they went to a factory where they took randomly selected few employees. Out of 100, they selected around 50, let's say, for figurative purpose. So for the 50 people, what they did was they started giving guided meditation. They started keeping them in a happy environment. That means they were not talking to them in a very strict manner. They were not putting any schedule. They were not kind of like, listing out their mistakes. They were always, even though they do 10 mistakes, and if they do one good thing, they used to talk about that one good thing, what they used to do. And within 3 months, what they did was they even started a little bit of meditation and mindfulness technique. And within 3 months, what they could see was 8 weeks, I guess. Within 8 weeks, what they could see was there was a significant difference in their productivity. And on the other side, actually, the other people, other 50 people, they were still on the same line, where the performance was low, where everything was, they were unhappy, they were not ready to come on time. These people on the other side who were very trained, so they used to be punctual. They used to come very, very happily to work. They were not complaining to spend long hours. They used to find that comfort zone in that place. And eventually what happened was, in UK, we get flu vaccination, like in India, you have polio drops. So similarly, when these flu vaccinations were given to two different groups, when they tested the group with all the meditation and those kind of happy techniques, the efficacy rate was around 93%. And the people who were definitely left as they are, the efficacy was 40%, the immunity level. So that's the kind of impact what we have on our happiness mind. The reason is actually more you keep happy your mind, already your subconscious will start healing your body in a way. It's practically proven. This research is on Google. If you want, you guys can just read about it. So what will happen here is actually with the meditation, you will start focusing more and more every day. It need not have to be like, you have to sit for 3 hours or something. Even if it is 5 minutes, even if it is 5 minutes before you go to bed, even it might be 3 minutes, just spend a time where turn off your phone, turn off all the music, turn off from the outside world, just sit with your eyes closed. Or it might be like, even if you're looking at something, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Make sure your room is dark, where the reason we make the room dark is it's a cinema concept, right? When you turn the lights off, the people will focus on the screen. But imagine any movie, any beautiful movie, if you turn the lights on and watch, Obviously you will lose the effect of that. So that's the reason I'm suggesting turn off the light. And if you want, you can light one candle if you have any issue with closing your eyes, because some people don't like to stay in dark. Otherwise, turn the light on, a simple candle. Look at that candle for 10 minutes before you go to sleep. Do this for for a number of days. Usually it becomes a habit after 8 weeks, and try for 8 weeks and see actually your fear of focus, your fear will go down, your focus will go up, and your fear of failure will it will come down so much, because the reason is you're able to focus, you're able to get the information, your mind is confident with that information. If your mind is anything anyway, if you're going to make your mind confident, what do you need? You need to fill your mind with the right information, right? So that's the thing actually. So those things, the negativity will go down. So that's where actually where, if you follow these techniques, trust me, when you are entering the examination hall, you will enter like a party hall where you're going to just you're going to enjoy the question paper so much that your answers will be very accurate. You'll be very happy state when you're writing that exam, and then come out actually. And what will happen actually, eventually your results will be really, really better. I'm going to talk about this one in future slides. So as I mentioned in the previous thing, so this is the differences what you can see. So more focused mind, you will start paying attention to even minor details, even if your lecturer misses even a single plus or minus sign, you will be able to notice that, which you have never noticed before. So that's the kind of focus you will get. Second one is always constant smiling face and constant joyful study. The reason is actually, if you look at the people who are meditating, or who are who are in happy state mind, you can make out with their face all the time, it will be glowing. All the time they will be very happy, they are happy to talk on any topic, they don't get bored, they don't get tired. Because the reason is actually because there is so much positivity, there is so much adrenaline rush in their body that it will not let you sleep easily. So that's the thing. So next, fit body and early rise. So this is what you're going to notice. One of the thing actually, if you look at any millionaire habits, anybody who is a millionaire, it might be you can list top 10, it might be Warren Buffett or anybody, or it might be Bill Gates. The one of the habit these people have is they start the day very early, like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. The reason is, when you start the day early, less distraction, very less distraction, you will be able to you will be ahead of 4 hours compared to the world, people who are going to wake up at 7 or 8. So you are already 4 hours ahead. So in a day, out of 12 hours, you already have got those extra 4 hours where you have that undivided attention. Early morning, nobody is going to call you, nobody is going to ask you for any favor. So those 4 hours, what you're going to learn, it's going to stick in, it's going to work in a way that like a atomic habit. I'm going to talk about one of the book in future slide, how it's going to work, how waking up early is going to give you better exposure to your knowledge and better visibility, and you will start seeing the things actually in your same textbook which you might have read 10 times. But when you start reading it, when it is early morning, when it is quiet, you'll start seeing the things actually, reading in between the lines and those kind of things. So that's the difference it's going to bring. Then once as a student we start achieving good results, what else these parents and professors want? Even they will be happy and they will be proud to say that that guy who scored highest marks, he is my student. He had issues, but the thing is the way he overcome was different. Now getting rid of that's what happens. All the anxiety issues, all the bad habits will come down, and finally confidence to face the world. To be honest, I myself, as an example, I can say that I was not that good when it comes to presentation. But the thing is, when I started doing these kind of things, when I started focusing more and more, when I started giving presentation without a hesitation, then even my English started, English skills, even that started to pick up. Even my presentation skills started to pick up, and more and more we speak. Actually, it's fine. Actually, mistakes happen all the time. You can't give the best of the best lecture if you're waiting for a period where you're going to learn everything and then deliver something. It is same like learning to swim. First you will learn to swim and then get into the water, or you're going to get into the water and then learn to swim. So it's the same concept. Now some more tips actually, what can happen, what can be done here is along with the meditation. So play a sport or go to gym or at least take a brisk walk early morning. So what can happen at that time is, or before you sit to study, it will start releasing two hormones called dopamine and serotonin. So these things actually, it's going to fix your mood for learning. Your mind will be like a magnet for the information. So whatever you study at that time, it might be a textbook, or it might be a storybook, or it might be a novel. It's going to sit in your mind. It's going to organize in a structural way that it becomes a very, very properly structured, and the way the information is arranged is that you can retrieve it anytime. Then neurons, they are directly associated with your diet as well. So avoid eating junk food. That is one of the tip I can give. And because and also avoid using sugar too much, because it can kill your neurons. It can kind of damage the neurons. And overeating can put your digestion, put your subconscious mind into digestion. So if you're kind of like, eating a heavy lunch, try to avoid it for a few days, and you will start seeing that only 2 meals are enough for your day. Usually I started skipping my third meal like 5 years ago, and to be honest, even today I didn't even feel like having a third meal. So that's the kind of because only 2 meals are enough when it comes to, when you look at your diet chart. If you're eating a really nice and balanced diet, intermediate healthy snacks somewhere in between, not the fish and chips or something like that. So go for the healthy snacks like a fruit or something, so that will keep you energetic entire day. Next one, third one, last one is actually check your, if you are unable to focus, it might be the issue with your vitamin levels. Contact a physician and get your blood test reports actually. So, and then you can see that if your vitamin levels are low, feel free to take the vitamin supplements. Even that can be a reason actually why you can't study for longer hours. Tips for the parents and staff. So till now, actually, we spoke from students' point of view, but when we look at the teaching and teachers and the parents, actually, they can contribute is, how they can contribute is, if the student is really facing an issue in focusing and in concentrating, there might be some issue with, it might be the issue with the teaching, or it might be the issue with the family. Because students, when they are going to sit in the classroom, they need to be free from all the tension. It might be the family issues, or it might be the economic trouble the family might be facing, and those kind of things. So it is better they understand the core problem and defeat it. So that is one of the thing, and it might not sound really that big problem, but it might be a bigger problem for the student. So that we need to crack on. So if the student is really good at something in one of the subject, but he is unable to do well in the other subject, that means that there might be a problem somewhere, right? That's not a study issue. It might be the issue with some other thing that is not coping with. Then come up with a plan and involve the students in the better activities. For example, if the student is not kind of focused, for example, if you are giving an attention to a student, then obviously that student will be active in the class. So most of the times what happens is, based on my experience, most of the teachers actually, when the students stop paying attention, even teacher will stop paying attention in a way. But the thing is, it shouldn't be the case. Actually, more students stop paying attention, the teacher should be able to pay attention and bring him to the front bench, or ask him to write the things what the teacher is going to say on the blackboard, and keep him active actually. So once you do that, he will automatically start focusing on the things. At least he will be able to remember the things he wrote during the lecture. So that's the kind of thing what we can involve students with. So then one more thing actually for the multitasking thing, the stress can build up due to multitasking, because the reason is, when we try to do n number of things at once, that's where our brain will try to switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. And due to this, what happens is there is information loss. For example, you're working on an important code and you're looking at your phone, and where you're kind of answering one of the text message, and again you're getting back to what you're trying to do. So already there is an information loss because of the information switching and switching and again switching between the tasks. It's not only going to burn out this thing actually your time, it's even going to burn out a lot of calories for your neurons. So that's the reason why you feel very tired when you do too many things at once. There is a Hollywood movie actually. It's called Forrest Gump. It's a very nice movie. What you guys can watch. It's a movie is about a average boy who is not really whose IQ is very very low, but in life he knows only one thing, that is doing one thing at a time. Only one thing at a time. He can't multitask. He can do only one thing at a time. So that power of doing one thing, where exactly it's going to take him from zero to hero. So that's a movie about. And Amir Khan is kind of remaking that movie. It's called Lal Chedda, I guess. So very soon. So you guys, if you have not watched it in um, Hollywood, you will be watching it in Bollywood very soon. But the thing is, I would suggest you to watch it in the Hollywood. It's a Tom Hanks and it's based on a novel. So it's a very nice movie and very impressive movie. Next one. So what's a proof that these ideas will work? So this one, what I'm trying to say, whatever the presentation we had from past a few minutes is based on these books. What I'm showing here. So let me highlight some of the things about this book. So one by one, this unlimited memory. Unlimited memory is a memory management technique, which is going to say that, like we do exercise to our body. For example, if you want to build your biceps, you will start doing the curls and you will start doing the lifting the dumbbells and those kind of things, right? So similarly, you can do certain exercise to manage your memory in a way that the memory will be our memory power is going to be enhanced in a way that it will be able to remember each and every minor things in the for example, the person's phone number or your credit card number, or it might be the person's name who you have met, from after a few years you're going to meet him again, and then you will be able to say his last name as well. The reason is actually it's an information arrangement. If you're able to arrange the information like how you arrange the things in the house, so the retrieval is very easy because you will have an index map somewhere in the brain. So it talks about those kind of skills. Atomic Habits, James Clear, it's one of the best book. And anyway, all the books that are listed here are best books. Let me tell you what Atomic Habits is. Atomic Habits is not about setting the goals. According to James Clear, he says if you set a goal, the goal is going to fail all the time. The idea here is not to set the goals, set the system. For example, if you want to achieve a distinction, or if you want to be a topper in the class, don't limit yourself to be a topper in the class. Make a system around it where you're going to study every page to page, concept to concept, reading in between lines, referring extra books. When you get into this habit, you are becoming a topper is just a side effect. So that's what Atomic Habits talk about. For example, if you want to lose weight, don't focus on losing weight. Focus on your diet. Focus on your routine. Focus on your exercise skills. Focus on your and make a list of things actually what you do every day, what you eat every day, and what you do every day. How many physical activities you do every day, and including watching TV as well. So that will tell you something actually. When you start doing it every day, automatically you know exactly where you are spending more time, where exactly your problem is. So when you start focusing more on your diet and exercise, automatically the losing this weight will be the side impact of that. So this is what Atomic Habits talk about. He gives a very real world example. So if you want, you guys can Google this information. In 1970s and 1980s, I think British cycling team, they had all the medals, including Olympics, including all sorts of games. But in the year of 1990s, they didn't win even single medal. The 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 company which was giving them the bicycle, even that started to think whether to give these guys a bicycle or not, because they are damaging the brand by not winning. So then what happened was, in the year I think 2000, I guess, there was one more coach who was hired, because they fired the coach actually under whom the team was not doing well. This guy who came as a new coach, what he did was he started working on every single thing. What he did was he made the seats very comfortable. He made the cycle chain very light. He made the cycle, which was made of a metal, to be, it was replaced with the graphite along with the metal to keep the bicycle lighter. Then he worked on the t-shirt, what these cyclists are wearing, so that it can absorb more sweat. Then after that, he placed a water bottle at the right place where the athletes can reach the water bottle whenever they're in need of. Then he made the helmets very lighter. Then after that, he made their pillow very, very very relaxed so that they can get a very good sleep. So he worked on their diet, their weight, each and everything. So after this, what happened was, when they started doing this it didn't happen overnight. They took few years to do this. And if you refer the Google now, all the medals are with British cycling team. They won so many medals after this. So these 1% improvement, they don't appear to be seen when it comes to efforts, but the thing is, they are going to give greater results. That's the power of atomic habits, small small things. Then The Monk Who Sold Ferrari, it's another one more good book where it talks about a lawyer who is a very, very good lawyer, because he works on every case with very, very serious integrity. But the thing is, one day he will collapse in the he collapses in the this one in the courtroom. And that's where actually he will realize what exactly am I doing, because he had a beautiful house, he had a Ferrari, and he will realize that whatever he is doing now, that could have killed him. So he will immediately quit the practice. He will go to Himalayas to get the meaning of happiness, and he learns 7 principles on how to stay happy eternally. So that's what the book talks about. The book mainly talks about your brain is like a garden. The garden can have all the beautiful flowers, or it can have even weeds as well, right? So question is actually, now, are you going to make the garden as a beautiful your mind as a beautiful garden with a lot of roses, a lot of beautiful flowers and those kind of things, or are you going to fill your mind with so much negative thoughts like a weed, like it's going to be full of spines, full of cactus? So those kind of things, it's our choice. And how do we make sure that our garden is, that means our mind is maintained properly? So that's what the book talks about, Monk Who Sold Ferrari. Unlimited Power. Unlimited Power talks about some of the physical attitude, like, for example, where it's kind of going to talk about how we are going to change your posture, your body posture, for each and every sign your brain is receiving. For example, if you're focusing, your hand will go here, your mind, your face becomes very serious, your eyes will be a little bit more focused. So those kind of things. And when you start doing it, you are helping the brain to receive. You are kind of informing your brain that I am ready to receive the information. This book talks about some of the techniques, sitting postures, standing postures, and even thinking postures, in a way that it's going to help you to achieve great targets. The 5 a.m. club, it talks about 20-20-20 rule, where once you wake up at 5 o'clock, for example, which is a best habit by all the millionaires, as I mentioned. So these people, they split the time as 20-20-20 from 5 to 6, 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of knowledge. So I'll repeat again. So which is 20 minutes of exercise, like it might be a simple walk, or it might be a cardio exercise, or you can go to gym, or it might be a swimming. Then 20 minutes of meditation. Then third one is 20 minutes of knowledge, reading something new which you are not read for the 20 minutes is going to make your mind very, very, and that's a better habit. Even today, actually, the Microsoft guy, even in spite of having so much money, even today he follows these habits. The reason is actually he knows that money is not going to bring the happiness. It's our habits which are going to make us happy. Then this book is Inner Engineering. Inner Engineering is by our Indian author, Sadhguru, Mr. Jaggi Vasudev. You might have seen him on the TV shows. So this guy talks about we buy a bike or a car, right? So what we do actually for the bike and car to perform well, we keep taking it to a service station, right? We keep getting it serviced all the time. So inner engineering talks about when the vehicle goes, when the vehicle need to provide a durable performance, what do? We take it to a mechanic and mechanical engineer and get it serviced. So similarly, when the body needs servicing, what do? So we need to take it to another engineer. That engineer is not anywhere else, actually, is within us. So that is what inner engineering is. How do we cleanse our body from all the negative thoughts? And how do we keep our body as a fresh flower all the time? so that it can keep giving us positive thoughts. So that's what this book talks about. Mini habits, it's something similar to atomic habits, but it's kind of going to cut the process even further down. For example, if you are unable to read the book, then it will say read the chapter. If you are unable to read the chapter, at least read a paragraph. If you are unable to read a paragraph, at least read a one of the small line. So that's enough. So it says even if you read one day one line, something new about what you have not read. So in a year, you'll be reading 365 lines. But over the period, what happens is you are not going to limit yourself for one line, because the reason is more and more you start reading more and more lines, your vocabulary is going to be better, your focus will be better, your way of absorbing things will be better. And this mini habit is going to cultivate into an atomic habit. And kind of these two books are kind of linked when they talk about this. Then that's how actually that's one way of keep building any habit, because one more you build good habits, as I mentioned in one of the previous slide, your habit becomes a signal for the subconscious mind. And once your subconscious mind gets that signal, it will start implementing. Now, finally, You're the Placebo. It's by Joey Dispenza. You should really read this book. The reason is this book talks about how he shows how to hack the brain and what are the ways to hack the brain. So that's what I have covered briefly in the 3 slides. But the thing is actually this book talks about even how the brain processes information, what it's going to do when the brain is stressed out, what is the best way to relax. So this book is more elaborated on how to keep your brain free from all the negative thoughts, and how to make sure the brain gets the power to remove all the negativity. And he gives one of the example which I just remembered. So what happened was author's friend's father had a tuberculosis. He had a very, very heavy fever for many, many weeks. So what happened was this guy, the author tried to uh, 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 Arthur tried every single thing. Arthur's friend tried every single thing. Actually, he took him to a best doctor that he could take, or he took him to the best hospitals. He could get the best medicine, but nothing worked for him. So then what they did was they understood that his father believes in Vatican City, where there's a huge church. So what he did was he told his father that he's going to go and meet the priest, and he's going to get something from him, and hopefully that prayer can heal him. So then he went to Vatican City and he got the cross. And he said his father that this cross it's blessed from the great priest, and you're going to be better. So what his father did was he just kept it to his chest and he slept. And within few weeks, he got better. It's a true story. So then the author, Joey Dispenza, says, when did you go to Vatican City? I know that you are in UK. So then this guy says, no, it's a cross what I purchased from the street. So it's not from the Vatican City. So that's a power of subconscious mind, that it's going to work. All it needs is just a belief, just a strong belief. So that's what that's what it needs. Now, I think I've covered most of the things, and if any questions, I'm more than happy to take. I hope you guys got the concept. So just stay happy, feed the good thoughts, feed the good habits, and make sure you have a good positive people around you who are going to feed you with good thoughts. And even if you're doing a combined study, make sure you meet people with a good similar mindset who are going to take you on a successful path. And immediately, trust me, in a group, when you're doing meditation individually and when you're doing it in group, it is always proven in a group as effective. So similarly, even the studies, when you're doing individually and when you're doing it in group, always the group study is very, very effective compared to individual study. But the thing is, actually, you need to select the right group, right? So that's what that's what this session is about. So these are the simple techniques to achieve the not only stress management, we can eliminate the stress from our lifetime. Yeah, thank you so much. Any questions?
It was really good. Nice presentation, Bhaskar. Participants, kindly put your queries on chat box. There's one query here. How to handle decision making during stressful conditions?
Stressful conditions, you can't make the decisions, because whatever the decisions you are going to make at the stressful condition situation, right, it's really work. So all the time, actually, that's the reason when anybody is under stress, what do we say? Count from 0 to 10, or take a deep breath, or go and drink some water. So these are the hints to calm the brain down. And then once you calm the brain down, and then you will be able to see the problem clearly. See, without seeing the problem clearly, you can't make any decision. So similarly, first you need to do is calm your brain, and then think about the problem. If you can't solve it, obviously get the positive people around you who can feed right inputs, and then take the decision. Hope that answers.
Yeah, it is from Shreyas, research scholar of department. How to overcome the negative effects of dopamine?
Negative effects of dopamine. So to be honest, I think you need to speak to somebody who is expert in that, to be honest, because the reason is based on what I've read. Dopamine and serotonin are really, these are the two hormones which are going to, like, wake you up in a way. Even melatonin actually kind of plays a role, based on what I've read. So melatonin actually, it's going to kill the sleep. And if you watch TV or blue screen before you go to bed, melatonin kind of kills this thing, that hormone. So that's the reason you don't get to sleep. So I think I don't know about negative effects. Probably we need to Google it. That's a good question. Or probably we need to speak to an expert about it.
Okay. And one more query again from Shreyas. A definition of success. Who is considered a successful person in life?
That's a very broader definition, because I can give another session on that one. So success defines, it comes with own definition. At the end of the day, if you have money, is it successful? If you have a power, is it considered as successful? So power keeps changing, because today's prime minister is Mr. Modi. After 20 years, it will be somebody else, right? So today's owner of Facebook is Zuckerberg, but tomorrow, or it might be like, things keep changing. But today's millionaire, if you look at the millionaire list, it keeps changing. For example, Anil Ambani is the best example. He was in top 30. Today, his revenue has gone so much down that he is not even in top 100. So what I'm trying to say is, actually, it's not the money which is going to make you happy. It's not but it is definitely necessary. That is for sure. But the thing is, actually, what is going to keep you happy all the time is your habits. So if you are happy internally, so then obviously, like, there is happiness is the state of the mind, I would say, all the time. So once you finish your basic needs, so for example, question is actually here, how do you stay happy when you're going to be exceptional? That's the only place actually where you can be happy, I would say. Because the reason is, think about yourself for next, imagine you have a time machine where you're going to travel back. Somebody travels back from the time which is future of you, and he's going to see you, and where you're going to see yourself, who is like, 50 years ahead. How are you going to see him? Actually, you want to see him happy, healthy, successful, right? So for that, actually, what you need, successful in the sense, like, staying that happiness state. So that can come only when you're going to calm your subconscious mind, based on the books what I've read. So, and that can happen only when you build right habits around your life.
Then one more question here. How to overcome stress eating?
Binge eating, you mean? Okay.
What exactly is that, Bhavya?
That means, actually, when people are under stress,
Stressed.
they eat more, because the
More.
reason is, when they calm their tongue, the reaction, what happens is, it is going to calm the nerve. So that's the reason, actually, when they fail in subjects and those things, they eat a lot of chocolates, so that the sugar can start kicking in, and then it can start calming their anxiety. So again, it comes back to the core question, square one, that, so question is, we know failure is not something that you need to take it in a very, very bad way. Even I have failed so many times. Seriously, I'm not joking. I had to write my second PU 2 times. This is one of my story. where I didn't get good marks, where I didn't even qualify for CET when I wrote it for the first time. So then most of the people, they said that, oh, you're going to waste one more year because you didn't get a seat in engineering. Why don't you do a diploma? But then or BSc, I didn't do it actually because I wanted to be an engineer. I said, I'm going to wait. So that wait was really worth. And today, to be honest, to a considerable level, yes, I would consider myself as successful. The reason is, if I was listening to people who are suggesting me to do BSc or something else, I don't think I would be like, happy in my life. So that's the reason actually, when you are on a part where you are failed, so it's okay to fail, because people who have failed, only they have realized what is the next stepping stone. And if you consider, I would like to quote one of my friend's cousin's example, where he was a topper throughout his life, and then he had one failure in his life, where he was like, kind of badly rated by one of the mean manager. And then he was not what to say, he was not given a good rating. So he was so upset, he just quit the job. So to be honest, quitting something and running away from the problem is not going to give you anything. So it's always like, something, if you have failed something, think about the issue, what is the core issue, and then try to see what can be done next. So always every failure is a stepping stone to success. So that's what I would say. So if you are under stress, don't make any decision when you're under stress. Talk to someone, or like, go to someone who is going to help you. It might be your teacher, it might be your parent, or it might be anybody. So who can calm you down and who can bring you out of the stress. Because if you are alone, obviously you will be surrounded by food. You will definitely, we all will do that, right? So that's the reason why it is better to share the things with people who you trust.
Yeah, there's one more question here. How to overcome the fear of failure in exam, especially during the time of preparation, as when we fear during the preparation, we concentrate less.
Okay, that's a very good question. So always think about opportunity, because, for example, there are two parameters in life what people keep saying, like, luck, and if you are lucky, you will be successful. I don't believe in this concept. The reason is actually, uh, I can carry an umbrella every single day here in a rainy season, and people might laugh at me. But the thing is, on the day when it's going to rain, I'll be the only one on the street with who is be holding the umbrella. Is that my luck or is that my preparation? It's always the preparation actually. So if you are going to overcome any problem, actually it's a preparation what needs to be done. For example, I would like to take my own example today, just to prepare for just to revisit these slides. I woke up at 1 o'clock at night. So it's always, I mean, even I had a fear, like, how it's going to be, even though I presented this in two more colleges, but still that kind of fear, it's going to keep you awake. Fear is not really bad, because in Mahabharata there is one example where Krishna asked Arjuna that, are you not scared of Karna? And Arjuna says, you have no idea how scared I am when it comes to when Karna comes in front of me. But the thing is, I have kept that fear as a small lamp in front of me, as so that I don't forget what I need to do, so that I don't forget my accuracy of shooting my arrows towards him. But the thing is, if I let that fear to grow, it will become a huge fire, and it is going to burn my confidence. So that's the reason having a fear is not bad. Having the fear as a kind of a reminder is always good, so that you don't forget. But if it is going to let you grow, then obviously it's going to burn your confidence. So that's the reason actually, preparation and keeping a reminder and making sure that you're keeping your pace up with your learning. So those are the three things actually which can help you overcome the exam, any exam.
Yeah, one more question here. When we are totally depressed, guilty of doing mistake, blamed by all, we will think life is nothing. How to overcome this type of situation?
As I mentioned in one of the slide, like, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan if he had taken that guy's words very seriously, today I don't think he would have been here. I don't think I would have mentioned his example in this slide. I would have taken somebody else's. So always there are people actually who blame us for every single failure, every single thing, because their nature is like that. More they blame someone, they feel internally happy. Question is you should consider people as an orange, right? Or a fruit which comes with a wrapper. You're not going to eat the entire fruit, or banana. You're not going to eat the banana with the peel, right? You're going to eat only the bit that is required, and you're going to throw away the rest of the bit, right? So similarly, when people are going to criticize you, always take it in a way, whatever need to be taken. And if they're criticizing you for a reason so that they can hurt you, don't let them hurt you. That is one thing I would say. If they have valid suggestions, obviously, yes, take that very seriously and work on it. So when you are going to take the criticism in a constructive way, always world is not going to give us what we want. World is going to give us what we deserve. This is one thing. And as the Newton formula, third formula says, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So similarly, if you try to please people, if they come to know that you're trying to please them, more they try to hurt you. When you start in a company, for example, in our company, even I have faced issues where, when I joined as a junior, it was not an easy job for me, because the reason is, first of all, seniors thought that this guy is very active. So if we give away our knowledge, then we don't have anything to hold on to. He will definitely sit on our head and he will become a team lead very soon. So what do we do? So that's a kind of environment when what we faced. And every mistake I used to do, they used to highlight it to the manager level so that I get depressed. But the thing is, I spoke to my manager saying that every mistake they are going to raise, I am going to consider that as a stepping stone and move forward. Because the reason is, you are not going to be an engineer to work for one of the company like Microsoft or anything. You are going to be a better engineer. Your job is not to become an engineer. Your job is to become a better information security specialist, right? For example, if you're studying in IT, so a good engineer always finds jobs. So it is if people get redundant, most of people are depressed because they lose their confidence that what is next. But a good engineer, what will he do? He will go for the next one. So similarly, actually, when you are always prepared in your life, when you're always going to take the feedback in a constructive way, automatically it's going to help you in every way. So I would say, people who are going to hurt you, don't take them seriously. Always take because we are adults in a way that we can identify who is giving a constructive feedback, who is really giving us a negative feedback. So if you are able to distinguish those two, then obviously you have the answer there. Sorry for the elaborated answer.
It's okay. Okay, thank you. And one more, any suggestions for peer comments and influence?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get the question.
Any suggestions for peer comments? Okay, that colleagues' comments and influence.
Oh, okay. So because we are surrounded with the people, because of that, actually, all the time, whatever our surrounding people do, that's the reason actually why when we were in our 1980s, when we used to go to school, my mom used to say, "You are a first-rank student. Don't mingle with somebody who is scoring low." And the people who are failing, right? So their parents used to say that you should be a friend with Bhaskar because he scores good marks. So what does this say? This shows one thing for us, that if you are surrounded by both good, positive people and negative people all the time. So always people are, as I answered the previous question, always people are there to demotivate you in every aspect, in every way. So question is actually making sure that sticking to your guidelines, sticking to some of the things actually what you are already predefined in your life. For example, if you want to be a good test engineer, where your goals are to be a test engineer, no matter who says what, no matter, mistakes happen in life, but the thing is, that every mistake you're going to make, you need to promise yourself that that's the last time you're going to make that mistake. So when we do ourselves, when we start forgiving ourselves, when we start showing gratitude. So just one more thing I forgot to mention, that if you are unable to meditate, you don't have to worry about it. Make a list of 5 things every day that you are grateful for. For example, you might have the best parents, best education system, best teacher, or best something which you have done, our best friend. Write about those 5 things actually what you are very happy, where you want to thank God for. It might be repeated things, but the thing is, every day take a white paper and write 5 things, positive things, before you go to sleep. And when you wake up early, again write the positive things, again 5 things. When you start doing it, automatically you know where your goals are residing. Within few days you will start seeing through goals. And once you know your goals, no matter who says what. For example, if you are swimming in different lanes in Olympics, the person who is doing in the fifth lane, does it has any impact on the person who am swimming in the third lane? I don't. I need to focus on my actions, because my goal is to reach the destination and win the medal, right? If I'm turning back and looking at the guy who is swimming in the fifth lane, whether he's at the back or not, somebody else will bypass and go, right? So that's the thing, actually. So we need to, if we focus on our goals, our peer comments and those things will have no effect on us.
So quickly, we'll take another 2 questions here. How to develop clarity in thoughts to concentrate in a particular task and excel in it? Probably your previous answer, I think. Okay.
When you're kind of going to see, for example, Sachin Tendulkar, that's a very good example for this question, because the reason is so many people have played cricket, right? Kapil Dev has played cricket, Sunil Gavaskar has played cricket, Sachin Tendulkar has played cricket. Today, Virat Kohli is playing cricket. But such, or even if you consider other countries, Brian Lara, at that time I'm saying, or it might be anybody. But the thing is, Sachin Tendulkar is kind of considered as cricketing god. Why did he get that title? Everybody knows, like, somebody is throwing a ball at you, you just have to hit it. It's a simple concept. But the thing is, the person who took the game to the level where he is called as god, so that person, actually, if you see his 20 years career, he has taken breaks whenever he had to take. He has selected the things, actually, where the series what he had to play. So that's the thing, actually, he has played a proper strategy based game, because in life what we need to do is we need to have the proper strategies on how to deal with each and everything. So if you see the 20 years career, if you look at the example of Vinod Kambli, I think people who are 1980s cricket fans, they know this story very well, where they both studied in they played for the same team, school team, where they both were equal contenders. Today we don't even worry about Kambli. We worry about only Sachin Tendulkar. The reason is because that person, he used to, this is not my comment, actually, Pakistani cricketers comment, that guy used to sleep on dining table after a long practice. So always it's a practice, actually, which kept him all the time awake and game awareness and staying ahead of his competitors and those kind of things. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're going to excel in life, all you need is just think about the goal, what you need to think about, build a habit. See, Sachin Tendulkar, I mean, somebody said, actually, if you chase dollars, you will definitely lose the game somewhere. If you chase runs, you will definitely the dollars will follow you. If you look at Three Idiots movie, what does he say? कामयाब होने के लिए नहीं, काबिल होने के लिए पढ़ो. That means don't study for success, study for your knowledge. Success will follow you automatically. When you focus on simple things, simple habits, like, your own goal, like, if you want to be a better engineer, try to know everything in that field. If you want to be a better lecturer, try to know everything in that field. That, you are the person in the room with the, wisest concepts, where you are going to, your concept, when you're going to speak, actually, people are ready to listen to those concepts. When you're going to stay in that attitude, the knowledge is just a weapon in your hand, and it's just a toy in your hand where you can just play around with it. And automatically, when your knowledge is high, people in the room, they have no choice but to just listen to you.
Okay. The last question, I think. As an administrator, how do you overcome non-cooperation and politics from your colleagues?
That is everywhere. But the problem is, actually, as I mentioned, actually, the guy swimming in the fifth lane has no impact on the third lane. Trust me, it is true. Because at the end of the day, what these corporate, I mean, it is true it's a very good question. But the thing is, actually, when it comes to politics, they can stop you temporarily. But when it comes to the long-term goals, I don't think they can stop you. The reason is, actually, your focus. See, for example, Sachin Tendulkar can be kept away from the game for one series. But the thing is, if he again proves himself, again he has to be taken back to the game, right? So everybody gets an opportunity to be the best every day morning. Early morning we wake up and we want to have a productive day, right? But question is, how many people will be having a productive day? So for that, what we need to do is we need to build our habits in a way that that it's going to definitely steer us towards the towards the success. So today what I'm giving is just a minor seed. It's not the complete tree. Now if you take this seed and plant it and give a good nourishing environment, obviously it's going to grow as a tree and it starts giving fruits. So that's what I can see these habits as. Whatever I have given is something that that can definitely not only going to help us in our day-to-day life, it's going to help us no matter even if you go out as a student. People, I mean, what I don't like about these Bollywood movies is they say that student life is all about enjoyment and having nice bikes, having like shiny clothes and those things. But they forget that gold, to become a pure gold, it need to be burned at 1064 centigrade. So similarly, in every field, everything. So there is politics and there is everything, but there is all these negative people. But the thing is, it's only your hard work, dedication, and focus. When these three things are with you, nobody can stop you. That's what I would say.
I'm very happy to say that our principal is there throughout the session and he was actively participating. He has raised one or two questions also. Even now he is in the meeting. Thank you, sir. And this is the last question from my side. You said group meditation is more effective. Now everything is virtual. Do you think that really virtually group meditating works?
Whenever it's like working in a gym, or it's like working alone at home, working out alone at home. So for example, if you go to gym, you will see that some guy is running on a treadmill, somebody is lifting weights, or somebody is doing something else, stretching or something. So by looking at them, our mind has a positivity, and it has a habit of learning from others all the time. People, when you even a person who is very weak in some studies, if you put him in the group of people who are studying very well, automatically that placebo effect will come into picture, where they will start picking up the habits from others. If you put a that's what they will say, right? If you put a this thing lion in middle of cows, it will just drink the milk throughout his life, because it doesn't know the real power in it. So similarly, that group effect has a serious effect. Even the person can excel in the group, or it can even go down. But the thing is, group impact is definitely there.
No, virtually also it's the same. I mean,
Virtually,
in Zoom,
virtually
okay, the
also I
same.
would say, because the reason is, if you are meditating alone, if it is 6 o'clock where you are not answerable to anyone, you have a liberty of sleeping for 30 more minutes, right? You can do it at 6:30. But
Okay, yeah.
when there is a group, there is a schedule that is there. When there is a schedule, everybody will be waiting for you.
Okay.
When everybody is waiting on you, so automatically this simple thing, actually, if you look at one of the talks by Mel Robinson, I think so, that lady says she's the most laziest lady on the planet. That's what she says. But the thing is, today she is the most what to say, most successful person, I would say. She gives all the corporate seminars and all. What she says is, every day she goes to bed, but early morning she has a lot of problem in waking up. So what she says is, she counts like NASA counts for the rocket launch, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When it comes to 1, she's not going to she's not going to listen to any of her thoughts. She will just wake up and wash her face, and automatically the chain follows. So that one small change early morning, that splashing the water on the face, can make your day better. So similarly, if you have one trigger in the somebody is waiting for you, that can make the meditation even better. It will at least stick to a schedule, and you'll be able to meditate continuously.
Okay. Pushpa, any other queries? You just check. Otherwise, we can. Already 1.5 hour. 1 hour 35 minutes. Okay. Pushpa, you can take over. Thank you. It was nice, really.
Ma'am. No questions on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine. You
no
can just
questions on the
conclude
YouTube
that.
channel.
Yeah, concluding remarks.
Okay, good afternoon. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion I, Dr. Pushpa, on behalf of the organizing committee and the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, UVCE, I express my gratitude to the resource person, Mr. Bhaskar Krishna, Principal Software Engineer from Broadcom Technologies, UK, for spending his time and sharing the knowledge in this program. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you
I
so
would
much.
like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bangalore University, Dr. Venugopal sir, and Professor H.N. Ramesh, Principal UVCE, for their constant and moral support to conduct this event. Thank you, sir. I think Principal sir. Okay. I extend my thanks to Dr. S.M. Dilip Kumar, Professor and Chairperson, Department of CSE, and Dr. P. Deepa Shinai, Dean, Faculty of Engineering, for their cooperation to conduct this event. Thank you, sir and madam. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Triveni J, Officer on Special Duty, Examination and Professor, Department of CSE, and the convener of this program for her guidance, involvement, and for giving me an opportunity to work with her for this event. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Pushpa.
I would like to thank Mr. Shreyas, Research Scholar of UVCE, and Mr. Gerard Deepak, Research Scholar of NIT Trichy, for their support in organizing this webinar. Thank you, Deepak and Shreyas.
Yeah, thank you from my side also. Thank you, Deepak and Shreyas, for the help what you have
Deepak
rendered. Principal is there.
Thank you, madam. Actually, I was in the other system; it was not audible.
It's
and
okay.
I thank profusely Mr. Bhaskar on behalf of UVCA. You have given wonderful lecture, sir, and my questions was answered. Some 2-3 questions. I missed in the initial stages. I understand you are working in Broadcom.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My wife was also working in Broadcom.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
10 years back.
Good to know, sir.
Before she joined.
So he was my first student from Acharya.
2000 batch, 20 years back.
2000, 4 pass out, sir, from Acharya Institute of Technology.
Bhaskar. Bhaskar from he was your student?
Yes, sir. Acharya Institute of Technology, first batch student of Acharya.
Very nice, Bhaskar. I really appreciate, and your lecture is, is very much helpful in this pandemic period, because our students are stressed, due to they have to stay back at home and they are worrying about their future, etc., etc. So I think it is really motivating, and I would have been very happy, if this particular lecture is taken positively by all the students. Even it is helpful to the teachers also who are having a lot of stress, especially our Triveni madam. She is already stressed. She is having a lot of teaching load. In addition to that, she is having the examination work. She is like a register evaluation of UVCE, and it's a thankless job. I was mentioning her to her 2 days back, but stress release is relevant to her also, and for me also. And some of the questions you answered very well. I have answered 2-3 questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Bhaskar.
Thank you, sir. I will continue.
Hoping to see you once again.
I extend my thanks to all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Pushpa.
Thank you, sir.
Pushpa, you just conclude.
I extend my thanks to all the participants. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Okay. From various colleges, universities, faculty from Department of CSE, faculty from other departments of UVCE, research scholars and students. Hoping this webinar benefits you all greatly and helps you to carry forward this knowledge. All the best. And we look forward to your participation in the upcoming webinars conducted by the Department of CSE UVCE. Yeah, I shared the feedback link in the chat as well as in the WhatsApp group. Kindly give your valuable feedback, and e-certificates will be sent to your mail within 2 to 3 hours. Keep learning, stay safe. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all the participants, and thank you, Bhaskar. See you sometime, Bhaskar. Thank you so much. We have to go